Okay, this is on how to set up a Trident. This could also be applied to our other controllers, to our Nova and our Supernova. Step one would be to unpack your transformer. This part is the mounting screw, and that is a little washer, little rubber washer, and that would get, and that screw will go through that thin plastic there. On your outlet, you should be able to screw that into the center screw hole, and that would keep it up if you have transformer that's got to be somewhere else besides vertical, keep it from coming out. On the power cord, you want to take the forked end, and depending on what transformer you got, some of these are resettable. So if it stops working on you, and it'll say resettable transformer, and it says unplug for 5 minutes to reset. If it's a non-resettable one, you have to be careful, because once you blow the protection, that's it, it's dead. So there are 2 screws. It does not matter which fork goes to one, because it's AC. Just make sure you don't put 2 forks on the same, otherwise you'll short it out and blow the transformer out. So just loosen it up, the forks slide in, and tighten up the screws. The other end gets plugged into the bottom of the controller there. But before you plug it in, go ahead and get your solenoid or your irrigation wire that's coming from your solenoid. Again, it does not matter, since it's AC. There's no hot or cold electrical lines on these. Take the supplied screwdriver, screw in one, screw in the other. Now, if this is on a Nova or Trident where there's multiple zones, you can have multiple conductor wire. So we'll probably cover that in a different video. So the solenoid gets plugged in here. Be careful that, I don't know if you can see it, sometimes I've seen controllers come back and that little clip that holds it on will get pushed underneath that, especially in the larger controllers, and it doesn't seat very well, and so you can
you show the clip again? Because I wanted to...
The clip right there.
Okay.
And what happens is then it doesn't fully engage, and so you can get kind of erratic behavior out of your solenoids then. So make sure that when you plug it in, that goes over that piece of plastic right there. And if need be, you can cut that piece off, and it'll probably stay in place, or use your screwdriver to push it down. There you go, and that's what it should look like. So now we got that done. Go ahead and plug in our power. Now, sometimes the Tridents will do that. I think this is an older one, so that might be what's going on. There we go.
Just unplug it and then plug it back in if you get an error?
That's right, yeah. Yeah, but I don't think the newer ones should do that. So, first step, let's set the time. So hold enter down for about 4 or 5 seconds. It'll do that. There. Now you can set the time. Just hit the up or down button. The thing that you want to be aware of is, this is AM because there's no dot there. Here, I'll go down to PM now. There. So that's 11:49 PM. And then if we went up this way, there. Now we're in midnight, about 12:27 in the morning.
Is that when it's going to start? This
is just the time.
Just the time.
This is just the time.
Okay.
So get the time set to what your current time is, and once you're done, hit enter. Now you're back in run mode. You can see that light lights up. Most people run in the second minutes, but you do have minutes, and minutes, hours. So now to set the on-off times, you've got 2 options. You can not set any on-off times, and this will run 24/7. So anyone who's used to the old 1626Ds or the 12A or the old 1A single controllers, that didn't have the screens and the clocks on it, they just ran non-stop, and you'd have to plug it into a light timer. So now we've got it built in to where the timer's now built in. So if you want to run it 24/7, you don't do anything with it. That's it. You don't even have to set the time. You just plug it in and you're ready to rock and roll. But if you do want to shut it off at night or something else, then hold the enter in. There you go. and that'll happen. So now it's telling you that event 1 is off. So hit either down or up, doesn't matter. Turn it to on, hit enter, and now set your on time.
I do see the green button on the on, so you know you're
Right,
on.
exactly. That's setting your on time. So whatever time we want. And so once you got your on time set that you want, hit enter again. Now you're going to program your off time. And you can go to whatever time you want to set.
That's a PM, right? Because I see the
Right, and that
yeah.
means that's in PM. That's another thing to keep in mind is your, AM and PM. So if my on time was 10:24 PM, that's when it turned on, and if my off time was something in the AM, and that's when it would shut off. So very important to keep track of that also when setting the time too. So then, if say usually a lot of times, and also it will time out and go back to running. So that's what it's doing. And since I've got the on time in the early part of the morning, it's obviously not running. So if this is how, if you've done programming it and you think it should be running, and all you got is just the time, obviously that's not the right time right now. But if this is what you've got, this is telling you that, hey, according to the event programming, I should be off. So if you don't want it off, it should be running, then you need to go back in, and if that's not the correct time, then of course hold it down for 4 or 5 seconds, enter down, and reset the time. So there's event 1. So a lot of times people have event 1 run during the day, 8 in the morning till 5 at night or whatever works. And then you've got event 2, same thing, turn on or off and set the on time, and then set the on time and then the off time, and then you go right into into event 3. And we've got up to 8 events to program for on-off times.
On
So-
one solenoid, on one zone.
Right, this controls one zone, and on the other bigger controllers like the Novas and the Supernovas, it controls the whole clock. There's no picking one zone or the other to turn on and off. So that's how it's set a Trident. And once you got your on and off times set, then you select your on time. So let's say 10 seconds on, because I've got it on seconds, minutes, and then say I want 6 minutes off. So now it'll repeat, it'll turn on for 10 seconds like it is now. And this is another way. It's telling you that it should be sending power to the solenoid, which here in the click we heard that it's on. And now it stops sending power to the solenoid, so the water should be off. If your water's still on and this is saying off, what you can do is you can unplug the controller, and then if your water shuts off, then it's something to do with the controller. Either it's sending power out when it shouldn't be, or if the water does not shut off, then it can't be the controller, because there's no power to the controller, so it's like it's not there. So you want to check. It could be that your solenoid on this one, it's got arrows. There is on all solenoids an input and an output. There's the input there, output arrow there. So if you put this in backwards where the water's going in the output, the water force will keep this solenoid open. So you need to unplumb it, turn it around so that the water's going in the input. If that's correct, then a lot of times there could be debris stuck in there that's keeping that from closing all the way. You can undo all these screws and try to clean it out and see if that does it. If that doesn't do it and it's an older solenoid, then replace it. If it's a brand new solenoid and you've checked all that out and you can't figure out what's going on, it might be an always open solenoid, which means that when it's not getting power, it's open and allowing water to flow through, and when it does get power, it would shut down. Most solenoids for lawn care and stuff like that are an always closed solenoid. So right now, since there's no power going to the solenoid, this is closed. It needs power to open up and let the water through. So that is another possibility. Every once in a while, weird shipments like that get through, and distributors don't know it. If you got any questions, of course, send us an email, give us a call. We'll be more than happy to help you.